everybody, welcome back to part 2 of Let's Make a Journal. This is Teensy Vintage. I am Teresa and I'm really glad you're back. Thanks for making part 1 such a success. Holy cow. Okay, well, we're still working on this video. I'm calling it the twins because of the cute creepy kids on the front. And we're somewhere in the middle of this journal. It's been over a week since my last video, so I kind of don't remember where we are. Apologies. However, we are adding some little background bubbles to mirror the other side and put a belly band here. And we can slip a card behind it. And of course, my glue is a little clogged. And I think I unclog it, but no, I didn't unclog it. In that life, you think you unclog something, and no, you haven't unclogged it at all. Anyway, finally got it glued down. Wipe up any excess, and we're going to put some little pieces behind it. I think we've got a nice library book card, or a due date card, and we have another set of creepy twins. Sisters, not sure. Those images are from a wonderful artist over on Etsy called Miles Beyond the Moon. I love her kits. She does all kinds of cool stuff. Check her out. I'm adding some dates to this due date slip so it looks a little more real. And I'm just using the date, not the year, because obviously my stamp is very new. It's not vintage. I don't have a vintage stamp. Maybe that's something I should look into. But yeah, just putting some dates on there. It looks like somebody checked out this book that, this card that isn't attached to anything. Anyway, going with the book theme, we have, oh, no, we don't. Sorry, no, changed my mind. We're going to put some little tiny pieces of ephemera to add detail to some of the cards in here. That's the beauty of these junk journals, y'all. You just have fun, add details like little numbers and letters and tags, dates, tiny stamps. It just, I don't know, gives it some interest, makes it more visually appealing. And when the person, whoever ends up with this journal gets it, they have more things to look at, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so here's a fresh page, some blue cardstock and some blue dyed paper. And I'm going back to that piece of scrapbook paper to make a pocket. Yeah, and I almost get it right. There we go. That looks good. Punch a little notch in the top, and we're going to put a piece of vellum on the bottom to make a second pocket. And that will be a nice see-through pocket. It's just something different. And you can trim off the excess. I've seen other folks use their sewing machine to attach vellum. It's very pretty. My sewing machine is underneath a pile of stuff, so I just didn't have the energy to get it out. That said, there's a lot of different ways you can attach things to other things, and they're all valid and wonderful. I'm going to add a little more stenciling to the back of this page because it's kind of boring. Just some fun lines. That's a Simon Says stamp stencil. And I've got a box here of little snippets I've cut out of an old book. So I'm trying to find something odd. You take a sentence out of context sometimes and you get a really weird statement piece you can put in your journal. It's kind of fun. Sometimes people will see it and be like, what? So I'm going to cut this so that it fits onto the little green piece of paper I have. Use our trusty glue stick in this case. You'll notice I use a lot of different glues. I use double-sided tape. Honestly, I just use what feels right in the moment. The little pieces of book paper tend to work really well with the glue stick. Bigger pieces, you can see I'm using the art glue. I just know that it will stick for sure onto the vellum and paper to paper. The glue stick's really nice for a little piece of ephemera if you want to just slide it across the top or whatever. This is a little piece of book cover from Jane Eyre. These are all digital printables that I got from different sellers off Etsy. If you search for digital printable junk journal or, oh gosh, what else? Ephemera, you can get all kinds of cool stuff. And here I am going through a whole pile of various things that I've printed out. These are all various vendors who make these sheets. You can print them on regular copy paper or you can print them on light cardstock. I don't think my printer will print anything on a heavy cardstock, so I tend to stick to, I think it's 65-pound paper, which is sturdy enough to be like a card, but not so sturdy that it won't go through my printer. And now I'm just going to find some little things to tuck into that vellum pocket. Little tickets, little picture of a goat. Just little odds and ends. Maybe make that one into a tab. Tabs are a really great way to add interest to your journal. So up there, I've just stuck it on there. Honestly, they can go wherever. Since they're not actually organizing anything, they're just there to be decorative. You can kind of halfway close your journal and see where other tabs are, and then in relation to those, put your new tab on the top, on the side. You can even put them on the bottom if you want to. I tend to stick to the top and the side though. Here I'm adding a stamp. Now is the right time. And that's just some journaling space right there. Nice blank page. That's a Finnabair kit. I've had that stamp set for a long time. And now I'm just trying to figure out what to put on the back of the page. And we'll see what we got here. Looks like this envelope. Yes. Again, nice piece from a kit. And you just fussy cut around all the edges. Fold the flaps. And you've got yourself a very nice envelope. Put all those little scraps in the recycle bin. I hope you all have a recycle bin and a trash can next to your art making station. I tend to fill up my recycle bin pretty quickly. And it's nice to know all that paper hopefully will go be made into other paper. So here I am. I'm gonna get my trimmer. The trimmer has that little groove, and I use a bone folder to make a groove in my paper so that it folds easier. I don't have a fancy scoreboard yet. One of these days. Okay, so problem. This cute little envelope, the edges don't overlap, the top and the bottom flap, which, you know, sometimes it happens. Okay, just making sure it's the same size here. I'm like, what do I do? Well, I think what I'm going to do is instead of making it a cute envelope that opens and closes in the front, I'm just going to work on using it as an envelope that, you know, will slide under a what do you call it? A paper clip. Words, y'all. Words are hard sometimes. Okay. And I'm just going to cut out some more little ephemera. These are just some numbers, some old-fashioned ads. What else? Other things. And we'll put them, make a little card here. Lots of little snippets. So basically, making something to go inside of this envelope that I just cut out. I did contact the artist who made that particular digital printable, and I told her, I said, hey, I love your work. FYI, the little envelopes in this particular kit, the flaps don't actually overlap. There's a little bit of a gap. And she was really nice and wrote back and said, oh, thank you for letting me know, and I'll see if I can fix that in the future. All right, so now we made this cute little card with a chicken on it. And that can go somewhere. Punch a hole in it and turn it into a tag. We'll get a piece of sari ribbon out. You know, I'm recording this after Christmas, and I got a few gifts from folks in the Amazon wrapping, which is usually a bag of some kind, and ribbon comes with it. So I went and took all the ribbon out of my Amazon gift bags, and you will see that ribbon used in upcoming projects. So now I'm looking for something to put on this little envelope, and we're going to put this interesting lady with an owl on her head onto the front. And now we have a unique envelope. Oh, that's pretty cool. And I'm going to glue the flaps so that it actually can be used as a place to tuck something. Wipe off any excess. And just put a little bit of ink on the sides there just to cover anything that is kind of white sticking out. And that little tag I made doesn't really work in there, so we're going to find something else. And this image seems to work. And I'm just going to put that in there. Maybe fold it or trim it. It's a little spot to journal something on. And then we'll also go get a piece of scrapbook paper. This has a grid pattern on it. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. And we'll fold that up. And give it a little bit of ink. Just to help it match the rest of the stuff. And like a little note. Tuck that in there. And that's one more thing for the person to discover, and we'll tuck it under the paper clip. There we go. Trade out one of those tags for something else. Here we have a printed page next to a coffee dyed page. I'm going to leave that printed page alone because it looks like a nice place to do some journaling. And make a pocket on the coffee dyed page so that I can tuck these fun tags into it. Yeah. And this time I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Every once in a while I just decide to use this instead of glue. Why? I have no idea. Because I have it and it just needs to be used. There we go. All right, so the little chicken is too small for that big pocket. So to show it off a little more, I'm going to make a smaller pocket on top of the big pocket. And we'll notch it and ink it and glue it down. There we go. And voila! That's a nice little house for our chicken tag to live in. Yay! And we're going to find something else to put in there. These are cabinet cards that this artist, Miles Beyond the Moon, has put patterns inside of, which I thought was really cool. So it's a nice mix of vintage and new. And it's an excellent journal card that can go behind those other pieces. Yay! And this page needs a tag. Or tab, rather. Tab, tag, tag, tab. There we go. Do a little fussy cutting. If you fold it over, you can cut the sides much more easily. Ink them up and glue it on. Oh, I'm going to put a hole in this one apparently. Let's see, finding a spot for it. And yeah, there we go. Nice. Give it a good press. That ink dries the glue dries pretty quickly. And now I'm going to add a little bit of sari ribbon to the top, just for something interesting and fun to stick out of the top. So when it's closed, you can see all these cool ribbons and tabs. I'm going to add a little more to the front. And like I said earlier, just start working on any page. It really doesn't matter. You'll know when it's done because you'll be like, yeah, this feels done. Move this around. You know, this little lady, she needs more. So we're gonna put a number on there. Ta-da! Okay. Just double checking. Yeah, you can see I'm fussing with it because the fact that the little tab, or the flap rather, didn't meet the bottom or cover it up just kind of was like, darn it. So we'll add a few more things there. That looks good. All right, so now just making sure my thread is cinched. Can't decide if it needs a bow or not. It doesn't. Just gonna tie that up, leave it alone. Let's go get some stamps. Tim Holtz, always a good candidate. And some archival ink in watering can. Watering can is the best gray ink. It is just right. Black can be really harsh sometimes. Watering can is a nice alternative if you want something a little softer, but that is still going to show up. And we're just going to put a nice number inside of that blank spot on the tab. You can ink those before you glue them down or after. It's easier before, FYI. But after, if you do it, make sure you put something sturdy underneath it. That way you can get a clean stamp. And we're going to use watering can again. You could use a nice brown ink here as well. If you had a sepia colored ink, that would work. But yeah. And I'm just looking for a few other stamps. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes less is more. Do some stenciling on here. And we'll do it a nice blue color, just for some contrast. And you can see I've put the cut board underneath, and that gives me a smooth flat surface. Because at this point, this journal is full of tags and pockets and everything else. It just makes it difficult to get a clean mark or stamp if you don't take precautions there. And that beautiful stencil is from Joggles. I love joggles.com, y'all. They have great prices and a lot of cool stuff you can get to put in mixed media art, journals, etc. Here I've got a few little pink tickets, and we'll glue that down. Just to add some interest. We love visual interest, right? And here I am going to take this very large picture. It's from another digital printable, of course. And it is going to just get added in, I think. Oh, we're going to switch that out. Okay. We're going to make a little tuck spot for this envelope. And all I did was cut a band, and I'm just going to glue down the two corners. So I'm folding them to give a little more room, and it won't be such a tight squeeze. And then the little envelope just sits in there right on top. Ta-da! And the image over on the right is some weird old picture, I'm guessing, of the atmosphere. I honestly couldn't tell you. We're just going to add a tag. I find that if you have old tickets or old images, if you punch a hole in them, it looks more authentic because it looks like it's been used. Used to be that you'd give your ticket and they'd punch your ticket and say, okay, that way they knew that the ticket had been used and it wasn't a new ticket. Okay, now we're going to make another little spot to tuck things into. This is a floor plan of a 1920s house, which I thought was pretty cool. And we've got some little journal cards. One looks like a library card and some kind of receipt. Just tuck those in there. Whatever works. Oh, just seeing what will fit. There we go. And round the corners. Yeah. That works. Now these two, I end up stapling them together, I believe. I could be wrong. But I'm going to add another little belly band over there on the left. Just some floral. Kind of mirror the floral on the right side. And again, I don't really plan this out. It's all like instinct. What do I have? What works? What looks good? No, that works. That makes me happy. Got a little picture of a horse. Some tickets. Oh, do a little more stenciling. That page looks really, you know, it looked okay. I don't know. A little more stenciling here. Stenciling is a quick and easy way to add some dimension and interest to your page. And I'm going to make an envelope. That's a We Are Makers, or no. We are, oh goodness, We Are Memory Keepers. That's who that is. I got this little envelope maker back at Tuesday Morning. Back when Tuesday Morning was around. I don't know if they're around anymore. I know they stopped selling craft items, which made me really sad because you could get quality stuff there for really like low prices. Anyway, I got that little envelope maker there, and it's really nice. You can use a rectangular piece of paper or a square piece of paper. And it's just a nice way to make an envelope out of whatever piece of paper you have. Scrapbook paper, art print, whatever. And just glue the pages, the sides down rather. And then yeah, there it is. It's an envelope. I'm going to ink up the sides, and we'll put some stuff on the front to make it look cool. Go back to my box of little bits and bobs. That one is a stamp, which obviously you need a stamp if you have an envelope, right? There we go. Somebody was telling me the other day they were talking to some kiddos about stamps, and the kiddos just were like, what's a stamp? They don't send mail, so they don't know what that is, which was sad, but not too surprising. I mean, they don't know what phone books are either, and they don't know, answering machine. Yes. So it's just funny. What I think is, something that everybody knows is in fact not something that everybody knows. It's okay. We're going to glue down this lovely lady. I'll move our envelope for a minute. I had this printed on copy paper, so I'm going to just cut those little two cards out, and those will go in my envelope. Well, I gotta trim them just a smidge so they'll fit in the envelope. Yeah, there we go. And that's a place to tuck things and journal on. And we'll add I have these ticket stickers. Not proud, but I did get those from Temu back before I figured out that they're not exactly a benevolent company. Although what company is? Anywho, yeah, we're gonna glue this lady down on that side of the page. Just to add some visual interest. She's not a tuck spot or anything. She's just there to be pretty. But yeah, you could do some journaling on the blue side underneath the envelope. And there's our envelope. Let's see, it looks like we've got quite a few pages left here. All right, let's add a pocket. Nice pre-made pocket, so to speak. Little glue. Yes, I could have used the double-sided tape, but we'll go with glue this time. Got some music paper, I think was from a scrapbook kit, something like that. Tuck that in. Glue on this little vintage label. Yeah, there we go. I also have gotten quite a bit of scrapbook paper from my local creative reuse store. You might have one in your town. It's kind of a thrift store, but for arts and crafts and makers. They sell everything from fabric to tiles to wrapping paper. I mean, if you can be crafty with it, they probably have it. And it's really great because it keeps that stuff out of the landfill. And our local one has kept, gosh, I don't remember. They sent me a note in their latest newsletter telling me how many tons. It was a lot. It was a big number, which is really cool. But yeah. And now we'll make another tag. These tags are great. They're all kind of neutral, so I can add whatever to them and it won't clash too much. And I'm going to use the other half of that image that I just cut to put that on that tag. A little glue. Trusty glue stick. There we go. Yeah, the glue stick's getting down to the bottom, so it gets a little messy. And let's put, did I put ribbon on that one? I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out. You don't have to put ribbon on every single tag. It is nice, but it's not necessary. Oh, there's me. I made this in multiple sessions. It took me like over a week to make this journal. And you're seeing the very, very sped up edited version of that. And in fact, I managed to not record the very end, which at this point, I don't think it really matters. My phone ran out of battery, so that's how long I was working. But yeah, here's another pocket set. Over on the left, you can see a pocket that I made out of an envelope. If you're like me, you get a lot of junk mail. And I've just decided to put that junk mail to good use. So I make art out of it. And I've attached a little tag to my big tag with a safety pin. And we're going to tuck it all into this pocket. We use our double-sided tape this time. You know, honestly, I think I use different adhesives because it keeps it interesting. It's less boring for me. Oh, and like I said, honestly, you know, art is the expression of the artist. And when you're making something, if it's a painting or a sculpture or ceramics or paper, you know, if you're making something with paper like I do, it's your own. Make it your own. Do what you want. Do what feels right. Art should be something that, you know, satisfies your creative urge. You know, you want to make something. That's really what this is all about. I'm really proud of this journal. I love it. I'm just psyched that someone wanted to buy it. That's fantastic. So yeah, I'm actually making some more journals. I will try to share images of those as I work on them. But yeah, some more tags here. Now, obviously, I could make my own tags. You don't have to get printable tags. You can absolutely make your own tags, stamp them, color them, ink them, whatever. I just happen to use the printable ones because it's a little bit of a shortcut. Is it cheating? No, not really. I mean, if I made a tag, I'd be doing roughly the same thing, except I would be taking some image that I found somewhere else and gluing it or taping it onto it, you know, the tag and putting it in that way. I think it just depends on what aesthetic you're looking for. You know, does your journal have a theme? Theme of this journal is mostly nature and a little bit of creepiness. Just a smidge. You know, little skull here and there. Some creepy twins. You know. It doesn't have to have a theme at all. You can literally do whatever you want. Does this journal make you happy? Great. Yes, then you've done it right. Does it make you unhappy? That's okay too. You could just take it apart, start over, or switch out stuff. This lady right here, I'm pretty sure she gets swapped out for something else later. You know, she looks like she'd fit in, but I think eventually I decided that she wasn't going to work. And then I'm going to trim off all the white space around these tickets and certificates and other images. I really like that vintage drawing. I'm going to turn it into a pocket. And we're going to put that here on this blue page. I like the way the blue and the pink looked against each other. Peel off all the tape cover. There we go. I know some folks like to put their pocket right on the edge of the paper, and you can absolutely do that. But I find that if you give it a little bit of a margin, it just tends to, one, be a little stronger on the page, and two, doesn't make your page wobbly. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, there's a little tiny red piece that says fragile. I'm not sure where that's going to go. There's a lot of flipping back and forth, as you've seen me do here. And honestly, I just go with the flow. That piece might go better somewhere else. It might go better here. I don't know. We'll punch a hole in that ticket. Here's an interesting page. We've got some waves and we've got some florals. I think I just end up with a few receipts and staple them. I try to use the staples sparingly, simply because if you staple something directly to your page, you want to be careful with the other side where it has, it could be pokey, and it could get caught on things. So if you're going to staple through the page, perhaps put a pocket or something else over it on the other side. And if you're going to staple two little items together, maybe put those under a paper clip or in a pocket, something where, they're not going to get pulled apart very often. It'll just help the integrity of the paper over time. So I made that little horse into a tuck spot there, but I also wanted to add some washi paper, or washi tape rather. Ooh, I've been talking a long time here. Just to make it look interesting. And I just needed to trim that. So that is a nice journaling card. Here we are with more space for something else. I figure it's time for a few more tags or tabs. I did it again. Tabs. And I'm using the little groove in my trimmer to help me fold the tabs evenly. And then we'll just trim off the excess, and we'll go around and ink the edges too. It just helps them blend in. If you have a lot of white showing, the white paper, to me it's distracting. So here I am trying to find where I want to put these tabs. And a little glue goes a long way, friends. There we go. And we'll put this one on the green page. There we go. And I had already stamped numbers and whatnot from that Tim Holtz set into the white spot on the tab, so I don't have to stamp those now, which is great. And here we go with some more stamps. I think that one says Specimen or something. They're all Stampers Anonymous. And I love they come on those nice plastic pages so I can stick them in a little notebook. And they stay pretty tidy. And I can just flip through them and find what I need. That little binder, gosh, I don't even remember. I think I got the little binder at the thrift store. It's just a basic 3-ring binder, but in a smaller size. And I'm sure they still make those. I think Tim Holtz will sell you a binder, but it's kind of expensive. So, when I'm at the thrift store or I'm at, well, basically anywhere, I'm always looking for things that I can repurpose. And I spotted those little binders and said, oh, hey, those will fit those stamps that I have. And here I'm just trimming. Oh, and that was the end of the video. Well, this is the finished product. Thank you so much for watching. I, again, can't say thank you enough. And thank you to all my new subscribers. Y'all have been coming out of the woodwork this week, and I love it. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time.